Dazn.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
So we'll move on to our next topic. And this topic was we decided on the last minute. We just got news that, Saul Canelo Alvarez, has finally announced the fight via Eddie Hearn, of all people. As we all know, Canelo does not have a promoter anymore. He's on his own after splitting with Oscar and Golden Boy. So now they announced the fight for December 19th, on dazn, against current WBA and ring super middleweight champion Callum Smith. For
the record, I don't know which annoys me more: the way you have to pronounce Saul or dazn.
Yeah, this is so extra for no reason.
Nigga,
that's that shit for the podcast started.
I can't take credit for that. I picked it up from somewhere. I think, especially, I definitely picked up the Saul from somewhere else. That's definitely ain't me, But
the zone,
But at least at the end of the year, that's obviously a significant fight, for Callum Smith. That's an opportunity, to not only get a victory over someone that he has significant physical advantages over, but also avenge his brother. For Canelo, obviously, it'll be a chance to legitimately get a belt in a fourth division.
And to finally fight somebody who's a legit threat, no excuse.
Yep. Although I'm already hearing pushbacks. Ugh, of course.
What
people
pushback?
People are saying, people are accusing Callum Smith of selling his belt because he's taking the fight on such short notice instead of going for the glory like Billy Joe Saunders. I'm like, give me a break.
Nah, the difference is Billy Joe Saunders can't take the fight on short notice, or this ain't really short notice like this. All these niggas supposed to be training. Saunders doesn't train like that. Smith has been, from the reports I've been reading,
in the gym.
He's been in the gym training more ready, like he knew he was going to get a fight this year, whereas Saunders, he's the type of guy, he don't start training seriously until
he finds out there's a fight. Yeah.
So the only pushback, or I don't even think it's pushback, it's a great fight, one of the best fights you can make right now. The only slight it has is, Callum Smith struggled mightily in his last fight with John Ryder.
Yeah, he most certainly did.
Yeah,
and we all thought
struggled mightily to the point where some
of people thought he lost. Yeah, a lot of people thought he lost.
Yeah, it's one of those Ramirez Postal, but I think maybe worse because Ramirez Postal felt like it could have went either way, even though I had Postal winning. Mm-hmm. But Ryder Smith felt like, that was Ryder.
And I wanted Smith to win, but I couldn't give the fight to him.
That's like a 115, 113 fight for Ryder, clear to me. It definitely needed a rematch. So I understand if you're looking at it from that angle, but you could also on the flip side say, well, look, Callum Smith slipped up a little, but now he got the marquee fight he wanted. He's going to take it super serious, this, that. So They go hand in hand, but I like the fight. I always felt like Callum Smith had one of the best chances against Canelo. So, as far as the last minute approach of it, it works because Callum Smith, like Pat said earlier, he has enough history of, being the lineal champ at the division and having the whole brotherhood thing with Canelo beating up Liam. So it's easy to promote this fight.
Very easy. And so
you can make it any time, and he made it this time, the right time.
Yeah. And of course, the only thing that actually surprises me, we were talking about this offline that's on DAZN of all places, because it's just like, damn, you know, you take DAZN and Golden Boy to court. You know, you get out of your deal, and then bam, you're making a deal to fight on DAZN again. I honestly didn't think Canelo was gonna find DAZN at all. Period. I thought he was gonna go straight to PBC.
But we don't know how much Canelo getting paid for the fight either.
That's also true.
Because remember, like, they was trying to get him to take like pay him like 25 or 27 mil for this fight when he was in the contract with them.
Right, but I mean, obviously the whole nonsense started, you know, because Canelo, you know, wanted to fight Yildirim for that vacant WBC belt, which no one. I mean, this is one time you couldn't even blame.
I don't think Canelo was really, you know, trying hard to make that fight. That was
I think he tried to find he found a loophole out of whatever.
He found a loophole, but I don't think he was really gunning for that fight. The thing is,
it just fell in his lap. It fell in his lap.
Yeah, exactly, and it fell in his lap, and it looked like he was gonna try to take advantage of it, but it looked like he was trying too hard because he was trying to make fights with everybody throughout the year, and you know, Golden Boy, Oscar, you know, they had that little fuckery going on, so it seemed like a lot of deals aren't made in good faith. And I think as soon as you took them out the picture, you're able to make a deal. Remember, we were saying earlier, this fight was really hung up on being made over a fucking 0.5 or million or 1.5 million anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What could have fucking drastically changed that y'all got the fight now? When y'all could have been promoting and building it up all year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about that. Like, you think Canelo's getting 50 mil for this fight or 35 mil?
Hell no.
Nah, I think Smith is getting paid what he wants.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously now DAZN. I mean, DAZN more than anything, like, I think probably definitely wanted to work with Canelo just to make sure. Because I mean, regardless of what you hear, you know, DAZN going on with DAZN or whatever, DAZN is willing to do whatever they can to actually keep someone like Canelo to fight on the network when needed. You know,
and it helps everybody because now Oscar can run Golden Boy without, you know, Baby and Canelo and Baby and everybody else because of it, or doing
not like he needs to be babied at this point, but that's a whole nother story altogether.
Thank you, exactly. Great addition. That's facts. You know, so it's instead of trying to damn run the place like Canelo's a star, this that you could really look at these other people on your roster and try to jumpstart their trajectory and run them right, and hopefully get and make stars as big as Canelo instead of just saying, well, you'll never be big as Canelo, so let me promote you this way. Because it felt like he was doing that.
This should be a situation where everybody comes out looking better, but that we'll see. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because, you know, Ryan Garcia, like, if he's the goods, he could take the reins of Golden Boy and carry it to the top, you know.
Yeah, it really just depends on, you know, if Ryan Garcia doesn't have any uh-ohs or anything like that, any glitches. You know,
and we're not even mentioning Virgil Ortiz.
I was gonna say, even if he does have uh-ohs, you still got Ortiz.
Yeah. The Blair Cobb, like, you know, they got fighters, they got people.
And more importantly, too, another thing too, is Oscar can actually focus on the champions he actually has. Because, you know, when all that shit went down, Jojo Diaz was like, "Where's my fucking mention?" You know, to share his
yeah, these niggas got forgot about, like, and it's like, man, we already got belts.
They're on the shelf.
Yeah,
like nigga, we done sold 1 million records. We went platinum, and it's like, who cares?
And one of them just had the best one of their career, and he's on the shelf.
Yeah.
Facts. So it's like, yeah, Golden Boy, they got to get their shit together. Like this, I think this works out better for everybody. Canelo, he's at the point he don't need no promoter. He don't need no Oscar looming over his shoulders, and you know, it's crazy like how Oscar fought everybody, but then he, you know, babied all these niggas that he signed. So I'm almost like they treat these stars like they're like they favorite, like they firstborn.
Yeah. I mean, like that whole thing when Ryan Garcia was throwing a fit earlier this year and just started bad mouthing niggas, like bad mouthing Golden Boy. and and Oscar's like, has to placate him. I was like, this is some stupid shit. Like he's a grown ass man. Like, don't treat him like that.
Ooh, honestly, for Ryan Garcia's clout, he honestly should be pay-per-view. He would be a pay-per-view fighter anywhere else. You don't think Heyman would have had him on some major card by now?
Of course he would have.
Yeah.
Even Bob would have seen that shit.
Well, I mean, at least Luke Campbell is a step in some direction, depending.
Yeah, but even
finally,
finally. But then he the worst luck. He catches COVID, so Lord knows when we're gonna see that.
No, it's supposed to be so. Right now, I think it's tentatively either December 26th, which is Canada's Boxing
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they pushed the fight back just a little bit, so.
Yay, we'll get boxing on Boxing Day. Okay, cool.
Official.
So it's not pushed back like into next 2021, barring anything
but
weird.
That's the thing, it's like that level of fight took what 2.5 years to happen, almost 3 years. Remember, like Ryan Garcia should have had that type of fight in 2019. Like, remember the Jason Velez fight was like what 2018,
something like that. But he almost
that's a minute ago.
Yeah, but I think probably too because he did almost have a glitch. I think Oscar dialed him back a little bit because there was
you don't dial back somebody for 2 fucking years, nigga.
Yeah, no, cause it was after the Velez fight. The Velez fight was whatever, but he had that journeyman fight and he struggled badly. So Oscar was like, you know what? Let me dial this shit back a little bit, before this nigga gets upsetted, So I mean, that's probably the reason why. And that was 2018. I think both fights were 2018.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they dialed this nigga back for 2 years.
Yeah, he had the Fonseca fight, which is his last fight today, which was earlier this year. I mean, obviously, because since Tank and Tevin Farmer both fought him and he iced them and won. So which he did better than both. So I mean, that was a step. That was a step in.
That's what I'm saying. The Campbell fight should have been that fight. Mm-hmm. We said we getting that December fucking.
I mean, it's better late than never. At least it's not. I mean, it's this year.
It is, and it's like you got to remember he's young. He's like what 21 or 20 or some shit.
Yeah, he's 21, 22, something.
He still got time, but I'm just looking at it in the whole.
Well, I think Teofimo Lopez. I think that's probably the reason why you see Teofimo Lopez doing what he did in less than 20 fights. So I think, I think probably now. I think that's.
Well, no, I'm not really, because I'm not even looking at. I didn't even know like how many fights Ryan Garcia had. I'm looking at it as progression and like Lomachenko. I'm sorry, like Teofimo Lopez. The Lomachenko fight was ripe for this year. Like it wasn't too soon, wasn't too late. It didn't overcook, didn't over marinate, none of that shit. Perfect timing.
Right.
Campbell Garcia, I felt like is a year off. Mm-hmm. Like we should have got that earlier.
Honestly, we probably would have. Like if COVID didn't hit, we probably would have gotten it earlier. Yeah. That's the thing.
But even then, like I'm taking COVID out of that. Like Oscar, like what I'm saying is like Ryan Garcia, like you want him to work out his trouble, whatever his problem, you do that. You keep him active. You know.
Wait, I mean, that's
the man begging for fights and beefing with you, like, and y'all did that for a whole 2 fucking years, and y'all finally got the make it or break it fight, and it's like, nigga, like you either believe it. All I'm saying is like it gets to a level in boxing where you either believe in somebody's talent or you don't. And I feel like Oscar kind of overcooked it as far as like, do I believe in this nigga talent or I don't? Like,
I mean, I think Oscar was just probably being hesitant because like I said, he's a young kid. So he's just, I mean, granted, I don't think Oscar has a recent history of ruined prospects, to my knowledge, unless I'm drawing a blank. He just might be like, you know what? The ladies love him. These little.
But then you get that whole spoiling on the vine shit. Remember the same thing. Remember the same thing was happening. We were saying what's happening with Tank.
Yeah, Tank was eating.
But Tank was being more active though.
You know, I mean, Garcia for his credit is, I mean, he looks like he stays in the gym or whatever. Tank is just was another issue. You know, Tank has, you know, so that's what we were saying. He was probably spoiling the game because he was letting his outside factors like affect his boxing. Like it affected his boxing like in multiple fights.
Yeah, but just being active too, like in the competition. Because look at Leo Santa Cruz. You know, it look like he stay in the gym and he in shape, but
he got one too many. He basically followed the path that I'm infamous I'm talking about, and then eventually caught up to him. You know, so
yeah, so that's all I'm saying. But anyways, I'm you know, I'm glad we getting the Canelo fight. I'm glad shit seemed to be straightened out, and
yeah,
I hope it does well. Hope the undercard is good.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, we should not expect Ryan Garcia on this undercard at all. Like, because Ryan Garcia is a Golden Boy fighter, and Canelo Golden Boy, unless, you know, I don't see it, you know. So I mean,
and that's the thing. It's like he already used it enough. Like, let Ryan Garcia be his own thing now. Like,
I wholeheartedly agree. There's no reason to chocolatito him anymore.
See, and that's what I was talking about. Like Ryan Garcia needed to headline and be his own. Like a Luke Campbell fight was supposed to be like January type shit. Like you were supposed to start this year with those kinks off.
Like if you want to put a fight on that undercard, you know, there's Virgil Ortiz, there's a Jojo Diaz. Like,
and then you know what? No, Virgil Ortiz needs his own. Like, you know, it's not to the point. Like Virgil Ortiz, he needs the main event now.
I mean, he needs a card where he can get some exposure. So I figure you might as well put him on this card. You know, maybe
I feel you, but you got to start looking at these guys as attractions too.
No, I'm saying you put him on there and then you put him on his own card like early in 2021. That's what I'm saying. Like, cause I mean,
I mean, I could see that. Yeah, that could work. Like,
yeah, I mean, because you don't want to keep him on the shelf for too long. You might as well let him get this exposure. You might let him body somebody. And then, you know, they keep it moving for 2021.
Yeah, let Ryan Garcia be like the little booster for certain guys, but then you elevate them eventually to having their own card and shit.
Exactly.
Because I don't mind having a stat card. Let me get a Ryan Garcia, Virgil Ortiz, Jojo Diaz triple header.
I'm saying, shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see how
super bad on that shit too, nigga. So it's like
you see how dope that sounds, but how often we get that?
Yeah. I mean, we hopefully we speak into existence or someone from Golden Boy.
Yeah, you said throw super bad on that, right? Like,
yeah,
nigga, that's a card.
You know what I'm saying? Like Superbad scored has a KO of the year candidate. She needs more exposure. Let her body.
You put Blair Cobb on there, and then that's a PBC pay-per-view.
Exactly. You know, there's plenty of. So yeah, hopefully Golden Boy just, you know, they take note of what they can do, what they can rebuild and build. You know.
Yeah. And we'll give our breakdown for Canelo and Callum Smith. You know, when the fight, you know, is closer. So, but you know, this is a good little, you know,
good little
touch on the subject.
For sure.
Like a light jab.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, which is what both these dudes is going to be needed in that fight.
Exactly. You know, but one of them is probably going to eat more than the other one, for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, so you know we'll go into our poll topics, and I'm gonna let King P set that off